You ever see someone try to steal your wife's fishing spot and end up getting hauled off in handcuffs by the very agency she didn't know your wife ran? Yeah, that happened. It was supposed to be a quiet Saturday. Nothing fancy. Just me and my wife Mariella out by the lake, casting lines, sipping coffee, watching the sun melt into the water like gold. This lake wasn't just any lake. It sat in the middle of our 20-acre ranch in northern Arizona, land my father bought in 2008, land I grew up on, land we'd protected like family. Mariella always sat so straight in her chair, like even relaxation had a protocol. I used to tease her about it, but I guess, deep down, I knew she wasn't wired like the rest of us. There was always this calm calculation behind those soft eyes, like her mind was 2 steps ahead of whatever the world threw at her. I reeled in a line and looked over. You know what I said. This might be my favorite place on earth. She gave me that half smile I'd fallen in love with 10 years ago. Mine too, Diego. And then, it all went to hell. A black SUV tore down our private drive like it was chasing a ghost. It fishtailed near the dock, spraying dust into our peaceful morning. The door swung open and out stepped. Well, if arrogance had a body, it would have looked exactly like her. Platinum hair teased into a weaponized helmet, oversized sunglasses, and a tailored pantsuit that screamed HOA royalty. Even the air around her smelled expensive and judgmental. She didn't walk, she marched heels, sinking into the soil like it was offending her. You must be Diego, she said, not asked. I'm Beverly Cross, newly elected HOA president of the Silver Pines community, and we need to talk about this lake. I stood up slowly. Lady, I think you're confused. This lake isn't part of any HOA. We bought this property specifically outside your jurisdiction for a reason. But she wasn't listening. Oh, that's where you're wrong, she said, waving a manila folder in my face. According to our updated water ordinance, all lakes larger than 1 acre are considered shared community assets. This she spread. Her arms belongs to the people. Mariella hadn't said a word, just sipped her coffee. But I noticed her hand was resting on her right hip, a gesture I'd seen 1,000 times. Back then, I thought it was just a habit. But now, Beverly looked her up and down. And you are Mariella Rose. All 5'8" of her, calm as ever. I'm his wife. Beverly squinted. I don't recall seeing your name on any deed. Mariella stepped closer just enough to make Beverly's smile twitch. That's all right. You will... Well then, Mrs. whatever your name is. Beverly snapped. You can fish somewhere else. We're turning this lake into a community retreat. A beach, a clubhouse, a dock, the works. This will raise property values for everyone. That's when I lost it, at least internally. We've owned this land since 2008. All permits, surveys, and water rights are registered with the county. There's no public access, no easement. You're trespassing. Her face darkened. I am the HOA president. I decide what's legal here. You've got 30 days to vacate or face consequences. She turned on her heel well. Tried to. Her stiletto sank into the mud, and she cursed while yanking it loose before storming back to her SUV. 30 days, she shouted, peeling out so fast she sprayed gravel across our dock. I turned to Mariella, expecting anger or even fear. Instead, she was studying the tire tracks. That look in her eyes, cold, sharp, unreadable. That woman's going to be a problem, I muttered. Mariella just whispered something under her breath. I asked her to repeat it. Cross. That name sounds familiar. I didn't push. But the way she stared after that SUV, the way her fingers kept brushing her hip, it left me wondering, Who exactly was my wife? Next morning, I woke up to find her at the window, counting under her breath. 22, 23. Her phone was up, snapping photos of something outside. I stumbled over and froze. There were signs staked all around our lake, bright yellow ones, reading Silver Pines HOA, future site of Community Beach Club, no trespassing. My blood boiled. That lunatic snuck in last night to put those up before I could even grab my boots. Engines rumbled up the road. A whole caravan of SUVs and sedans poured onto our property, gate wide open like someone had the code. Beverly emerged with a megaphone like she was leading a parade. "Welcome to your new community, Beach," she shouted. "For years, this selfish couple has hoarded a shared resource. But no more neighbors looked at us like we were squatters on our own land. It was surreal." That's when Mariella stepped forward, calm and composed. You could almost hear the crowd's confusion. Something about her just shifted the energy. "Ladies and gentlemen," she said, "please be patient. The situation is being handled." I blinked. Being handled. That evening, I found her reviewing something on her tablet maps, photos, files, and muttering the word deployment like it was normal. I asked her what was going on. She smiled and said, "Do you trust me?" Of course. Then, trust me when I say I've dealt with worse. I didn't sleep much. Thursday morning rolled in hot. Mariella was already outside, wearing a bulky jacket that made no sense in that heat. She kept checking her watch like something big was about to drop. And it did. Beverly returned with 2 squad cars and a clipboard, her HOA badge, now sewn onto a tactical vest. For God's sake, she demanded the officers arrest my wife for trespassing. Officer Miller, the lead, looked unsure. "Ma'am," he said, "can I see some ID?" Mariella didn't flinch. "Badge number 4729, she replied coolly. "I want you to think very carefully about what you're about to do." She pulled out her phone, tapped a button, and said, "Now." 5 minutes later, they came. 3 black SUVs barreled into view, skidding to a halt like something out of a spy movie. 8 agents in full FBI tactical gear poured out, forming a protective semicircle around Mariella. Beverly looked like she'd seen a ghost. "Director Varela," the lead agent said, "we're ready." Officer Miller nearly dropped his clipboard. "Director," Mariella nodded. "You were doing your job." "Officer," "No harm done." Then she turned to Beverly, face stone cold. "But you, Mrs. Cross, you've been on our radar for months." She gestured to another agent, who pulled up financial records, emails, even schematics detailing Beverly's plan to use fake HOA laws to seize multiple properties, including ours, and flip them for profit. One email said, "The Alvarezes will break soon. Keep piling violations until they sell." Mrs. Alvarez was in the crowd. Gasps rippled through the neighbors. Eyes widened. Trust shattered. Beverly panicked. "You can't do this. You're abusing power." Mariella pulled out a warrant. "Actually, we can. And we have been. For 6 months." Beverly tried to run. She didn't get far. Her heel caught in the mud again. Karma's favorite playground. She went down screaming. Agents cuffed her, dragged her into the SUV while she yelled, "I am the law here." I know people in Washington didn't matter. Weeks later, she was sentenced to 10 years for fraud, extortion, and misuse of community funds. Her personal assets were seized. The families she hurt started returning one by one. The lake ours. Still peaceful. Still ours. Mariella. Well, turns out she joined the FBI years ago after watching her own father get swallowed by a crooked land deal. She made a promise to protect people who couldn't protect themselves. Now, she keeps that promise every day. And me, I help however I can. Playing dumb homeowner, checking property lines, whatever it takes. Because there's always another Beverly out there. Another power-hungry Karen who thinks HOA means harass our area, but not on our watch. So tell me, what would you do if someone tried to steal your land? Let us know in the comments. Was justice served, or does this kind of corruption go deeper than we think? Hit subscribe if you want to see what happened when the next HOA president tried to get smart with Mariella. Spoiler alert. It didn't end well for them either.